Hello, my name is Richard Hamilton and I'm currently studying an MA in photography at Falmouth University. I currently work full time as a lecturer delivering photography at Southern City College in Birmingham. I found this job to be both rewarding and challenging. At present, I shoot primarily with a 5D Mark IV, a 7D, a Pentax 645Z and a Mamiya C220. I'm really enjoying the process of shooting with a film camera and it's allowing me to really develop as a photographer. I'm heavily influenced by the work of Henry Cartier-Bresson and The Decisive Moment. His ability to tell a story in a single image is something that has inspired much of my imagery. My first interest in photography began when speaking to my older brother, who was always passionate about the art and wanted to be a film director. As you'd expect, I wanted to emulate whatever it was that my older brother wanted to do, and this led me to becoming extremely passionate about photography. This image was taken on Westminster Bridge in London. As I began to understand how my camera worked, I also began to want to experiment with exposure, shooting into highlights to create a silhouette, for example, experimented with mist and smog and looking at the impact that can have on my images. Photography is rewarding, challenging, and it's also very therapeutic. It allows me to concentrate on a subject, a moment, and freeze that moment in time. It also allows me to communicate my perspective, how I view things, and how that may differ from other people. However, the interesting thing with photography is that the image is also made up of a person viewing it, and so, whilst I might take a photograph in an attempt to communicate one narrative, the person looking at that image may interpret it in a completely different way. Eventually, my passion for photography led to me completing commissioned photographic work, both photographic portraits. This work hugely inspired by photographers Nick Knight and David LaChapelle, who intentionally submit oversaturated, extremely vibrant images. This is something that I've attempted to emulate when creating work for a variety of local fashion brands. My wedding photographs were the evolution of my initial fashion photography. However, I found wedding photography to be extremely difficult and challenging in that the majority of couples want their images to be both extremely flattering and unnatural. Creativity is heavily frowned upon in most circumstances with wedding photography. This leads on to my current passion for street photography. Colour is descriptive, black and white is interpretive. The contextual understanding I have of each of my images is only temporary. Whilst the photographs will not change over time, the context is only brief, and thoughts and feelings I have towards the subject will change with time. A photograph is also made up of the person looking at it, and so not only does an image change context with time, its context also changes depending on who it is looking at the image. What I most enjoy about photography is the freezing of an instant of time and the capturing of my interpretation of the scene. The aim of documentary photography is to turn the spectator into an eyewitness. This then allows the spectator to see the image with their own eyes. The spectator can then develop their own interpretation of the scene. Johnny Walker Evans is another photographer who was of great inspiration to me. His images on the New York subway using a hidden camera allowed him to capture truly candid moments of a variety of subjects. My street photographs have been shot with a Panasonic Lumix GX85. This camera has a Wi-Fi function that has allowed me to press the shutter button on my smartphone. This ensured that the subjects were rarely aware that their photograph was being taken. And again, this allowed me to capture a truly candid snapshot of how each of these subjects were at the time of my photograph. This allowed me to get into circumstances and situations where the subject did not feel as though their privacy was being invaded, where they were not uncomfortable or confrontational, were completely relaxed. On occasion, I was confronted by the subjects, would ask if I was taking a picture or what it was that I was doing, why I was standing in this location. On other occasions, the subjects of my photographs were so caught up in avoiding other people within the scene that they didn't even notice that I was standing there. My passion for street photography and documentary photography leads on to my current project, which is focused around the Windrush. Brandon Stanton and his Humans of New York project is of great influence to me. Brandon Stanton captures images of the citizens of New York and attaches a short paragraph discussing the narrative of the image. This differs from person to person. Gordon Parks, who also captured pictures that were heavily narrative driven, based around civil rights America, is someone else who hugely influenced my pictures. Each of these images is captured of a Windrush citizen. The Windrush and Windrush citizens are described as people who moved to the United Kingdom between 1948 and 1971 to undertake jobs that British citizens at that time did not want to do. People moved from all areas of the Caribbean, islands like Montserrat, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, to attempt to better themselves and create a better life. They were met with a variety of different emotions, both negative and positive. My current project attempts to tell the story of these people, how they found it moving to England or Britain, their experiences with racism, their experiences with work, their experiences with the change in temperature, the challenges they encountered, and the life that they have created for themselves. This was influenced by the current controversy surrounding Windrush citizens and how many of them have been unable to attain citizenship despite dedicating a lot of time to this country. This is an ongoing project. At present, I'm happy with how it has progressed. Thank you for listening to my presentation.